AM Best rated U.S. property casualty mutual insurance companies reported continued positive trends with their 2019 financial results, despite challenges including intense competition and operating pressures. Here to discuss this PC industry segment is Chris Jackson, AM Best financial analyst. So Chris, what advantages do mutual insurance companies offer during challenging times like the current pandemic?
One of the most prominent one would be that because the mutual insurance companies are focused on the policyholders, and that is their operating priority, they tend to be more reactive to developing situations in a way that is more favorable or more favorable to the insured. They are the ones, for example, that would be reaching out more, they were making more contact, they would have a better connection to the insured in a situation there, whereas the stock companies, when a catastrophe happens, it's more of an attitude of how can we minimize the damage from this, not so much how can we serve the people we are insuring to minimize their damage. It's this is an unexpected situation. How are we going to level out the damage this might do to our finances?
Have you seen any impact on first half results from premium rebates or refunds?
Yes, actually, we've seen a lot of the impact of policy order dividends that have increased substantially from the previous year. In 2019, we have in this year we've seen about several $billion more paid by mutual insurance companies out in policy order dividends than we saw in the first half of 2019. While at the same time, the net written premiums were more or less the same. So what you see is that an industry that is reacting in the way that it is built to serve its policy orders. So when they have just a sudden surplus of money that they got from the lower exposure of people going outside or incurring losses and that kind of thing, that they feel that they operate, their priority is to return that money to the customers, and they are then allowed, they're able to react much more quickly and much more personally to the people that are affected.
The report notes that rated mutuals grew premiums in 2019. What were the drivers of that growth?
The biggest driver, first of all, was the homeowners multi-peril line. It by itself grew almost $3 billion over the previous year. The commercial lines also provided a somewhat less of a boost, but they contributed as well.
So surplus for these companies also grew in 2019. What was behind that growth?
The biggest single contributor of the surplus growth difference in 2019 was the unrealized capital gains, which had been about $20 billion of growth in 2019, whereas the previous year we had seen significant losses in the industry, right? Or in the whole mutual segment overall lost about $14 billion in unrealized losses. And giving that back in 2019 contributed significantly to the swing.
Chris, thanks for speaking with us today.
All right, thank you.
To view the full report, visit ambest.com. For AM Best TV, I'm Meg Green.